The fact that people power is an umbrella for all Ugandans is non-negotiable. That is the point. It is for liberation. And the people who want to belong to it are many. There were times when people used to be shy to wear the red beret near me. One day I saw Henry Lugoa with a red beret peeping from his pocket. So I said, Henry, why are you hiding your red beret? You wear it. This thing is ours. Wear it with pride. Indeed, when the team was being announced, and they said, those from DP stand up, 2/3 of the tent got up. What? Actually, I'm told 3/4, because I was watching on TV, maybe I didn't see everybody. But those who were there, what does that tell you? But I understand when people say the words were harsh, because Honorable Chagulanyi is one of us, and maybe the words appeared as if they were hitting at him. For that, we need to de-escalate. When you are disciplining your child, you don't beat your child like the way you beat a thief. You discipline your child with words that encourage and build, with responsibility, not anger. I want to assure you, I am not angry at all. I had a long conversation with Honorable Chagulanyi yesterday, and we are going to continue, because our points are valid. We want to build people power into a special purpose vehicle. I met a boda who told me, Mao, you are talking of a special purpose vehicle. What is it? Does it mean it is a vehicle where everybody in the vehicle has a steering? Because that is the impression they got after following the media, that everybody wants to have a steering. That there should be a steering for Mao, a steering for Muntu, a steering for Besige, a steering for Chagulanyi, a steering for everybody. Asumani Pasaliva. So obviously that kind of vehicle will never go anywhere. Because I may be wanting to turn it right, then somebody else wants to turn it left. I realize we have to do a lot of work to educate our people to understand what we're after. The issue of the joint presidential candidate is a matter that can be resolved very easily. 2021 is just a tournament. But the game continues until Jesus returns. There will be 2021, there will be 2026, there will be 2031, and so on. Now, on behalf of the boda who asked me, let me now say the purpose of the special purpose vehicle is transition from dictatorship to democracy. That's number one priority, not positions. Personally, I'm not dying for any position. I'm not a positional leader. I'm a transformational leader. I left parliament after 2 terms. You know that. Some people can sell their mothers to remain in parliament. And if you threaten their seat in parliament, they will even hand over their wives and say, please, take my wife, but don't deny me that seat. I went and headed a local government, took it from the bottom to the top. After 1 term, and I left. So, we can only remove Museveni if we sort out the leadership question in the opposition. Since May last year, our party has undergone a lot of revival. Sometimes I wonder why we are under so much attack. Nobody kicks a dead dog. It's because DP is alive. That's why everybody is kicking DP. But those kicking DP are actually not opposition. These are Museveni's agents who want to create confusion. Let me build for you scenarios. The best scenario is of a people power based on a one-to-one model at all levels to kick out Museveni and establish a transitional government. Now the bad scenario, which Museveni wants and his agents, by infiltrating our camp, they want Besigye on the ballot, Mao on the ballot, Chagulanyi on the ballot, Mugisha Muntu on the ballot. That will make rigging easier. For us, we want one person on the ballot to fight for Ugandans. Even if somebody refuses to unite, Ugandans will isolate that person. Because Ugandans are already united. That is why those who don't want the kind of new unity in the opposition and who don't want a transition of leadership in the opposition are trying to break the relationship, which is unbreakable, by the way, between the DP bloc and the Honorable Robert Chagulanyi. That's the whole purpose. They are going to insist on building the special purpose vehicle, and we are reaching out starting today. Honorable Mike Mavike has been heading a team that has drafted the details. Of course, a lot of the things are not going to be done in public view. If we unite, Museveni will fall. But if we all go in the ballot paper, we will be divided. We will be like these fingers. He will cut us off one by one. Because all the people who want to run for office have supporters. I have supporters who are willing to die for me also. All the others have their supporters. You know, in 2011, as DP, we refused to join the IPC because we thought it was a Chiwani. It proved to be a Chiwani. Ask Michael Mavike. Michael Mavike went there, they signed some Chiwani, and he was endorsed as the candidate for Lord Mayor of the IPC. Then the flag bearer of IPC abandons him and goes for another candidate. That is how Honorable Mike Mavike got even more annoyed with the whole politics of opposition. Another time we had a WhatsApp group of DP. There was a fellow who was concentrating his fire on me. So I told the admin, you remove that fellow. They removed him. Then the master, the paymaster called. Said, now why have you removed this fellow? So that is why the leadership of the DP bloc is not moved. We are the pilots in the cockpit. And we know the weather. The dashboard is in front of us. We are seeing everything. You think our collective experience is experience you can just downlook? We are the ones who stood in the gap when there was no multipartyism. Now those who destroyed parties now claim that they are the ones fighting for democracy. But the key is those who are trying to put out our candles will burn their fingers. So we advise you, please don't burn your fingers trying to put out our country. Do you think a party like DP is going to compromise on its values? Yesterday I went to Jinja to talk to a man called Peter Nseko. He told me that he was the campaigner for 2 DP MPs, Dr. Muzira and another MP from Busoga there. Those fellows were arrested. When they were released, they crossed to UPC. I think it was Waibale. It was Waibale and Dr. Muzira. Waibale had given Peter Nseko a Land Rover. When they crossed, Peter Nseko went back to him and said, I'm now very embarrassed to associate with you. Please take back your Land Rover. Now that's what DP is made of. And that's what makes us the indispensable party in Uganda. When I consider the future of Uganda, I think of people like Peter Nseko. I think of a man like Tiberi Okeny in Kitgum, who for all his struggles, when we buried him, the only asset he had was a small house, half the size of this room. But the whole of Uganda, including the president of Uganda, went there, and they gave him a 21-gun salute. I tell you, many of the people masquerading, the quacks, no one will remember them after they leave parliament. And I know many of you don't remember most of the MPs. It is what you stand for at a time like this which will make you to leave a legacy. Therefore, the crisis in Uganda is not a political crisis. It is a moral crisis between what is right and what is wrong. Most of the time, what is right is not convenient. So few people like inconvenience. Look at the Uganda matters. Was it not convenient for them to have gone and said, we don't believe in God? It was inconvenient. I'm sure their friends must have said, Baba Zabubi, look at them, Kachizito, now being banned for nothing. But what do we say today? They were heroes. And I understand Mukajanga eventually got born again. I need to follow the story. I hear he became a believer. Roman Empire, the majority, the crowds were with Pontius Pilate. Crucify him, nail him to the cross, crucify him. Jesus was alone. The cross has now transited from being a symbol of shame to a symbol of victory. Therefore, I say to all DPs again, one person plus the truth is a majority. Majorities that are built on lies are temporary. They are like Olufu. When the sunshine of truth comes, the mist will disappear. Including the flag bearer should not be a boardroom process. You don't sit in a boardroom and anoint yourself or anoint anybody. We must go to the people together, talk to them, gauge. That in itself will be wakening up. Can you imagine if all of us who want to contest for president hit the road together and we talk in Kampala, we go and talk in Mpiji, we go in Masaka. Eventually, moving together is the first way to learn what you like about a person. So we want that process to be that way. People-centered, not boardroom. We issued that statement because we thought many of our members were putting the cart before the horse. Assuming the Muslims, the Catholics, Anglicans, and others want to elect a leader. I don't think anybody from the Muslim faith would immediately go and line up behind the Catholic Archbishop before they have sat down to agree. You cannot say, Pastor Fenatuluani Sasitani. The Muslims are fighting Satan, the Catholics are fighting Satan, and even the Protestants. But they came together under an umbrella called Interreligious Council of Uganda, and it has a document. We need that document. DP Block has a document. All the principals of DP Block know their rights under a document which was approved by the National Executive Committee of DP and the leadership of the other parties. DP Block leaders, stop it. We are going to undress you until you are naked. In fact, we have already done most of the job of undressing masqueraders. We would have followed them on social media, but you see, we have chosen the high road. As Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. So I want to assure everybody and all DPs, don't go to that level of Komanyoko politics. Leave it to them. Because those are, can you fight a pig in the mud? A pig is more experienced in fighting in the mud. So don't follow a pig in the mud. Stay away. Because the pig will beat you with its long experience. A person is selected as president of DP. That is the DP presidential candidate who goes to negotiate with others. If negotiations fail, that candidate will be on the ballot paper. And the hope of Ugandans will be dashed again.